everyone. I think most of us can say that we've been hurt by somebody, that we've had somebody that we need to forgive. And I think a lot of us can say that even that person has been somebody who's very close to us, who's supposed to love us, who's maybe supposed to protect us. And then some of us have people that it's going to be very hard to forgive that person because that person has no idea what they've done or they don't regret what they've done. And I've thought about that a lot as all of these protests are going on. And every time there's a protest or a war or anything, it really makes me think, so what would it take to end this? Like, what is the goal? What if something happened would make everybody just go home and say, okay, I'm good? And it's really made me reflect on the Sacrament of Reconciliation or confession in the Catholic Church. Because while their forgiveness is possible, the forgiveness really is about the person who has been wounded or hurt. And we can see that in Jesus. Like, the forgiveness is already done. The cross shows us that Jesus has given his life for us. So we have been forgiven. But that doesn't mean that we can take that and run and say, well, I've already been forgiven, so I can do whatever I want. Because we aren't receiving that forgiveness. That forgiveness is there and available for us when we get to the point that we look up and say, what have I done? Oh my goodness, what have I done? And at that moment, we turn to the cross and see that he's already forgiven us and is ready to receive us home. And so reconciliation is a name I'd love for that sacrament because that's the whole goal. But it really has three names. It's the sacrament of confession, the sacrament of penance, and the sacrament of reconciliation. It's not the sacrament of forgiveness, which is interesting. That's already done. But the first part of that is confession, that understanding, that knowing what we've done and repenting of it. We see what we have done and we say, you know, that was wrong. And that's the first step, because that's our goal, I think, is that reconciliation. And until you have an admission of wrong, that can't happen. And you can see in the protests when the police officers came and said, this was wrong, the protests went completely differently. That's what you need to hear, that you know that what I know, which is this is wrong. And then the next step is penance. There are penalties to be paid, there are wounds to be healed, and there are things that you need to do to repair what you've done, whether it's you and I to each other, whether it's a police force, whether anybody, or us to God. That penance, that repair needs to be done, or at least tried. And then the next step is reconciliation. That, I think, is the goal. We don't want just punishment. We don't want just, justice for this one person. People want reconciliation. They want to be seen. They want to be understood. They want to be acknowledged that something is wrong and has been wrong, and they want it fixed. And I think all of us can want that, don't you? I do. And I think that's something that we can each do in our own lives, whether it's one-on-one or as a society. Those are my thoughts. God bless y'all.